Okay, so let's do one last example, and this example is going to be where the leading coefficient is not a 1. So all the examples that we've done so far had a 1 in the front. This one is a little bit more complicated, so let's go ahead and try to do this. So don't forget, when you're completing the square, bring all the y's or the variables to one side, and when you complete the square, before you can actually do it, you need to take out the leading coefficient as a factor. So the y's are already on one side. But what I need to do is factor out the a value, which is 8. Once we have it in this form, now we can again do the b value divided by 2 squared. So plus 2 over 2 squared minus 2 over 2 squared is equal to 42. The first 3 are going to give you the perfect square, which is y, the sign, and the number squared. So just like when you did completing the square where there was no equal sign, you need to bring down the 8, and then distribute the 8 to the last part, because remember, we only applied the 8 to the green underline, so it needs to be applied to the other one. So minus 8 times 1 squared is 42. So go ahead and solve that. 8 times y plus 1 squared, this is negative 8, is equal to 42. Add 8 to both sides, so we can get 8 times y plus 1 squared is equal to 50. Now we can divide both sides by 8, because if we square root both sides first, we're going to have a square root of 8. So let's get rid of that first. To get y plus 1 squared is equal to 50 over 8. Okay, and if you want, that's 25 over 4. Square root both sides. So y plus 1 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 25 over 4. And just like before, the square root of 25 is 5. And the square root of 4 is 2. So we have y plus 1 is equal to that. And lastly, subtract 1 to both sides. So y is equal to negative 1 plus or minus 5 over 2. And of course, if you can simplify it, you must. So y is either equal to negative 1 plus 5 over 2, or y is equal to negative 1 minus 5 over 2. The common denominator here is 2. Similarly here. But here we're adding, so 5 minus 2 is going to give you 3 over 2. And then negative 2 minus 5 is going to give you negative 7 over 2. So your two answers for this quadratic equation is going to be y is equal to 3 over 2, and then y is equal to negative 7.